Hey everyone, it's me Shimon and welcome to episode 22 of yet another tech podcast. Today I'm joined by Clinton Jeff and we'll be discussing a plethora of topics but not restricted to the all-new 16-inch MacBook Pro, Sonic's new redesign, and the new foldable in town, the Moto Razr. So, what are you waiting for? Tune in, this is going to be pretty interesting. Alright, before we proceed any further, a quick preface right now for what you're about to hear. This whole episode was recorded in a pretty noisy cafe. I should have known better, but I use every trick up my sleeve, every inch and drop of unicorn magic I had at my disposal to curb the noise, and I think it's bearable now. Enjoy the episode. Okay, so for those who might not know about you, why don't you introduce yourself?
Wow, so much pressure. Hi, I'm Clinton Jeff. I used to be a popular blogger. Then I became a PR guy for Xiaomi. Then I became a marketing guy for Huawei. And now I'm a YouTuber.
Amazing.
I know, it's an exciting ride. I'm happy to be here.
So, just for a quick question, what's your current daily drivers?
Right now I have an iPhone 11 Pro.
Flexing
Max.
already?
Well, I mean, I've always had an iPhone in one pocket, so and I have a Pixel 3 in my other pocket. Because,
Pixel.
Pixel. I like to think it's the best of both worlds, but I'm sure there'll be people that aren't fans of either one of these phones. But I feel like the iPhone is pretty unbeatable this year. I don't know,
The Pixel 4 really dumped over everyone.
The Pixel 4 was a huge disappointment. The thing is that I was really hyped for it, and I was seriously thinking about buying one in spite of all the leaks. And then they launched it, and then the bad reviews came out, and I was still thinking about buying one somewhat. And then every day since, something or the other was horrible about that phone.
You missed motion sense. The fact that doesn't work in India.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you get it imported.
Yeah, so everything was falling apart about that phone. And then now I kind of don't really want one.
See, I somewhat feel bad for Harish already. Harish and Abhishek, they just imported Pixel 4 from US.
I mean, Harish goes through phones like I go through sneakers. So he's fine, man. I'm sure he'll get bored of it in a couple of days. He'll move on to something else. It is quite an investment for a phone because you're paying all this money that you could pay on the iPhone 11 regular or Pro or so many other phones right now. And it's just weird to see Google make this really strange decisions rather. Because what? Because here's a company that we all joke about how they know everything. Yeah. We all joke about how Google knows everyone, knows everything. How did they do this then? What? Are they not listening to anyone after all? I don't know.
Okay, so talking about iPhone 11 Pro Max, shit, that name is difficult. How has your experience been so far with it?
It's pretty good. So I had the Huawei P30 Pro before I switched to this, and I sold the P30 Pro when I was buying this because I figured I don't need.
How much loss did you bear?
Quite a lot because when I sold the P30 Pro, people were already at the stage where they're like, ha ha ha,
Huawei.
Good luck selling that phone, right? Because nobody wanted to buy a Huawei phone. And I was selling it in Malaysia, which is a huge market for Huawei. And I thought that, okay, it's popular in Malaysia, so the resale value will be high in Malaysia. But no, everyone in Malaysia is pretty smart, so no one's buying Huawei phones there now. And I didn't get a really good deal, but I managed to get at least half of it, which is not too bad. It's a huge, it was only a couple of months, so it was still a significant loss. But I figured if I don't get rid of it then, no one's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And the way I hang on to phones is for years. So finally got rid of it. Got the 11 Pro Max, and I don't miss the periscope lens of the P30 Pro that much. It was useful for more architecture pictures for me, for Instagram and stuff like that. But I realized I don't actually need it that much in my daily life.
I'd rather have a wide-angle lens.
The wide angle is more important.
That's where Google fucked up.
It's so, like I said, it's so weird. It is just so weird. So that's why with my Pixel 3 and its normal camera, one rear camera, it does a good enough job. I don't need anything more. It does, everything I needed to do. Battery life is not so great, but it's still better than Pixel 4, I guess. But the iPhone 11 Pro turned out to be. Who would have thought that this year everyone wants an iPhone 11 Pro or 11 regular? Everybody was making fun of the iPhones until now. Everyone's like, haha, you have an iPhone, you spend so much money. But now suddenly this year, everyone's like, oh yeah, I want to buy an iPhone 11. I want to buy an iPhone 11 Pro.
I wouldn't lie. When I was contemplating to buy an iPhone 11, then I was like, no, because I'm too heavily invested in Google's ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
it's difficult for me.
That's the thing with
to
me,
switch.
right? I've always had an iPhone. I have an Apple TV. I have a MacBook. I have what other Apple things do I have? I had an Apple Watch until very recently. I have AirPods Pros.
You have Series 4, Series 5.
I had a Series 2 actually that I used until very recently, and then I started reviewing other handheld wearables. So I figured let me switch. But I'm really deep into the entire ecosystem, and once you get into that ecosystem, it is hard. Because I'm so used to airdropping stuff now from my phone to my Mac, from my Mac to my phone, that if I couldn't do this, it would just break my brain because it's so frustrating to send things to an iPhone outside of AirDrop, right? Like you upload it to Google Drive, download it from Google Drive.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's so horrible. So
because there's no like file sharing system on Android for like between Android and Windows,
Yeah.
so that's what I do because I have good enough internet, so I like upload it on Google Drive, download it again.
and even if I was in the Android ecosystem and I had a Windows computer, even then sending photos from your Android phone to your Windows computer, not that easy. It's still very old-fashioned, connected via a wire. You can try to Bluetooth it over. Good luck. You can use Lenovo, share it. You can use one of those apps, but it's still not a great experience. So, like I said, I'm so deep into the ecosystem that now I don't think I could ever move away. So even though the iPhone is so expensive, I
Worth it.
still said, okay, so I'm a YouTuber now, but I will still spend all this money on buying the iPhone 11 Pro. And that's what I did.
Wise choice, I must say. So you have the olive green one?
I have the
Midnight green.
olive green. How dare you, sir? It's a midnight green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The case is the pine green though. So look at it. You guys can't see it because it's a podcast. But wow.
I'll take a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
Oh, damn.
Yes, seductive pose. Everybody in the Starbucks just saw me flashing it and I'm going to get wrong.
Yeah, they can judge you. I'm really surprised now.
Okay.
Yeah, since we're talking about Apple ecosystem and all, so you're using 2017 MacBook Pro? 2018?
I'm using a late 2017 MacBook Pro 15-inch maxed out specs that I bought because I thought, I'm going to be making videos, so I need the best MacBook I can get. Unfortunately for me, MacBooks suck now. So, my screen is falling apart.
Oh.
It has like all kinds of like horrible things happening to the screen.
No, like literally falling apart?
Yeah, if you see Michael Fisher's MacBook, remember the issues yet? I have the same exact issues.
Wow.
Michael was actually making fun of me for posting the photo of it. So, yeah. I have these patches, and when I took it to Apple, they said, actually, it's a fun story. I took it to Apple Bangalore, and they said, oh yeah, it's a problem, we'll replace it for you, but it'll take you 1 week. And I said, okay, I can't survive without a computer for 1 week. Let me get it fixed later on. Then I took it to Apple Care in Delhi, and they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with it, it's your problem, you caused it. And I said, oh, okay. Then I took it to Apple Malaysia, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a problem, we'll fix it, but it'll take you 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, this is a very weird situation I'm in, because I need my computer to work, right? And until I can get popular enough and I can ask for a loaner device from Apple, this is pretty much all I have. So I am still using a very patchy, annoying screen. Luckily, my keyboard, touchwood, has not had any issues yet. I still live in constant fear of something happening to it. But
Do you like the feel of the keyboard? Because
I
tried
am
it.
not
It
a big
sucks.
fan. I'm not a big fan. See, I've had MacBooks for like 9 years now, so I've evolved through the MacBook series, and I've had a MacBook Air, I've had a MacBook Pro for the longest time. I had a 17-inch MacBook Pro, dude, back in the day.
Wow.
That was my main machine. And
Wow.
I've been through it all, and I love everything about it. But now, with the new keyboard, I hate it. I hate typing on it. And it's just, and I hate Touch Bar. I don't know why. I know people are hyping it up. I'm just not a big fan of Touch Bar, and it's so strange.
Useless?
It's just, I've never used it for anything. In fact, I just feel like it's very annoying.
See, that's the word you're looking for. It's useless.
I never said that. Apple, please don't hate me. So it's annoying because I'm a huge Apple fan. At the same time, I can see them making mistakes that now they are correcting slowly. But yikes, it's taking forever. And it's very annoying. So with the new 16-inch MacBook, I'm happy to see some of those fixes. You know, the new old keyboard.
The magic keyboard.
The new old Magic Keyboard. There's a lot of improvements that I was like, okay, this is a good machine, but They haven't announced if they're bringing this to the rest of the series. They're updating the rest of the series with the new keyboard. Right? The
They
new
will. They will eventually.
They will eventually, but now you're like, okay, do I risk buying any of the other MacBook Pros? Because, awkward situation. Yeah, it's weird. So I'm not a big fan of it, and for me, I do a lot of work on Photoshop. I do a lot of work on
Final Cut.
Final Cut, and when I see all these patches on my screen, right, it drives me insane because I don't know if it's my camera. Oh, is my sensor dirty? Oh no, it's just my screen. Yeah.
So do you have an iPad though?
I actually bought the first iPad in America. I lined up for it. There was this guy called Viber from the Symbian blog back in the day. Yeah. We lined up outside an Apple store in Texas on launch day, and it was a pop-up store, so nobody else was lined up. And we were like, hey, nobody else is lined up. We're here. We might as well buy. It was during South by Southwest.
Yeah.
So we bought the iPad 2, and I used it for a bit. Didn't really find it that useful. Ended up not doing much with it. I have a lot of friends now, like Sudeep, for example. He uses the iPad Pro and he loves it.
iPad Pro is amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm so scarred from the iPad 2 and every iPad since then that I can't see myself using it like it's supposed to be used.
Yeah, the reason I was asking was because if you have an iPad, you can use the sidecar feature to use it as an external display.
You can, yeah.
Does it work with the phones as well? I'm not sure.
It doesn't work with the phones as far. That's weird though. It would be interesting to see.
Yeah, like maybe when you want to color check something, you can go to your phone and say, that looks great.
Yeah,
that looks fine.
No, I don't think Apple wants you to do that yet. iPad screens are large enough though, so they might, I don't think I'll be an iPad guy for a while. The only reason I do want to get an iPad though, an iPad Pro specifically, is because of Apple Arcade. Like, I'm a huge Apple Arcade guy. I love Apple Arcade. I've actually totally stopped using my Nintendo Switch. Hey, I have a Switch for sale if you're interested. If you're interested. But I've actually
Everybody's selling, like even Chetan was going like, I want to sell my Switch.
Yeah, I haven't used it that much, It's funny because the Switch is really good for long haul flights or a lot of traveling. But if you aren't traveling that much and you're not doing a lot of daily commutes, what do you use the Switch for?
Just gather dust in the drawer.
It is gathering dust right now, and I'm scared about the battery on it because I don't, I've been through many generations of electronics. I know how the batteries can just.
Plus yours is the first gen.
Yeah, mine is the first gen. So, yikes. So I haven't been using it much. Apple Arcade, on the other hand, I use it all the time. My partner is in Malaysia, and we play Apple Arcade games all the time. And it's really fun. It's like a quick 10-minute session, and you're done. Wait, that sounds wrong. But yeah, you know what I mean. So it's taken over that gaming genre of what I wanted it to be. And these are games that you can just pick up and play, or there are more intensive games as well, right?
Yeah,
and there are games coming out like every day, so I don't know. It seems like that might be the new cool reason to get an iPad for me. And you can pair it with any PlayStation controller or Xbox controller now.
You just had to mention PlayStation, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Sneaky.
I tried not to say PS4.
You sneaky. But yeah, so if given a choice, would you sell your MacBook and then buy the new one, 16-inch one?
If given a choice, probably. If I knew I could get a good price for the whole MacBook. Because I just live in constant fear of using this MacBook. Because I know that one day the keyboard's going to start giving out. I know that touch bar is useless. I know that the screen is falling apart literally every day. Luckily, I have Apple Care that I bought for it because I knew something would go wrong. That's like 26,000 rupees extra that I paid for it.
Wow.
Apple Care, right?
Wow.
But I know.
Even when you buy Apple Care, what does it all encompass?
So Apple Care gives you 2 years more of warranty, basically.
Okay.
So after the first year of warranty started getting over, I could see my screen falling apart. But because I was really dedicated to my actual job at that time, I couldn't spare the time to take it to a service center. So I was like, okay, I will someday just get everything fixed because I know the keyboard's going to give out also at some point, right? So I just got Apple Care because I was like, okay, maybe a year from now I can just get everything fixed. But now my MacBook is my main life, so I can't get it fixed.
So I was under the impression they totally switched the units itself. Like, here you go, you give your old MacBook and you get the new one.
In other countries like America, wherever there's official Apple presence, they might. But in India, they're still kind of a little stingy.
Third parties, right?
Yeah.
What about Malaysia though? Same?
Same, Malaysia the same. Singapore though is very Apple oriented. So they have an official store there. So there, I think they do take exchanges and they do like a loader. I think I'm not sure, but yeah, I can't survive without my computer for 1 week, dude. 1 week is a long time.
I know.
I'll just be depressed at F. Yeah.
So taking a quick segue into foldables, have you tried the Galaxy Fold yet?
I had some brief time with the Galaxy Fold. Not enough to make a video, so I figured why waste my time trying to make a video. Also, no one's going to watch my video on the Galaxy Fold because there's like a million videos on it. Funny enough, I actually saw a normal human being using a Galaxy Fold.
Where?
It was amazing. I was in a coffee shop meeting a friend of mine. And
Is this India? Are you talking about India?
In Delhi. And I was sitting there, and this guy next to me, he sits down. This pretty rich-looking dude, like with his his rich-looking wife, and they were like, he was sitting there. He sits down on the table and he plonks out his Galaxy Fold in the case, by the way, in the official Galaxy Fold case. So at least he's taking that kind of care. But if he puts a case on it, that means he might not be that rich, right? So, but here's the thing. Apart from the Galaxy Fold, he also had an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Not surprised.
So, and on his wrist was an Apple Watch.
Well,
Series 5.
I
So naturally, my first question to him was like, "Hey, are you a tech reviewer?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, do you work for a publication maybe?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "So you bought these?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Wow, deep pockets. Are you compensating for something?
I don't know what that guy was doing, but I asked him about it. I said, "Look, so how do you feel about it?" He's like, "Oh, I absolutely love it. It's amazing." Blah blah blah. He only used it for a week though.
Oh.
So I feel like after a month, when that plastic screen, I would like to meet him again after a month and be like, "So now, how do you feel about it?" Because I don't think a lot of people understand that it's using a plastic screen. A plastic screen is scratch really bad.
It's like Nokia 5233.
Back in the day,
Back in the day, resisted touch screens.
They resist your touch.
You just have to poke the screen, and then one day you find, oh, fuck, it's not working anymore.
So I would love to meet him after a month and see, okay, what do you feel about your phone now? Because everyone that I know who has reviewed it has got it for free from Samsung to check out. Right? Very few people, apart from like one friend of mine called Ben, he actually spent money on buying it.
Dedication.
In Hong Kong. Like he spent money and he's using it as a main phone. But even he says that he has to be very careful with how he uses it. Even when you're tapping the screen, you have to be very gentle. And I would never be comfortable using it because I know that I very rarely break phones. But I would live in constant fear of something going wrong with that phone because suppose it's a dusty day, like I would live in fear of using that phone because I'd be like, oh, suppose a speckle of dust floats into my screen and destroys everything. Right? I'm not a big fan of that. But the Moto Razr, that looks sweet.
That looks really sexy.
That looks sweet. I haven't been that hyped for a Moto phone in a very long time.
Yeah, very, very long time.
And it's interesting to see how so many people that completely forgot about Motorola. Now, this is more of an Asia thing because in America people still love Motorola because it's the only
G series.
Yeah, it's the only affordable phone series there, and so in America it's completely different. North America especially, but here in Asia, people had already written off Motorola. Not many people buy Motorola phones after the Lenovo acquisition, and then out of nowhere they dropped this. And it's funny because when you look at this, you see that they are doing exactly what Nokia is doing. Like they're relying on those vintage series of phones to kind of get interest over it. And this was genius because this is what everybody wanted. In fact, when I heard rumors about it, I was like, there's no way anyone at Motorola is that clever or that smart.
Same. I was like, that's just a fan.
It's never going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But then they actually announced it and it's everything that everybody wanted. And I was like, wow.
I'm pretty sure the fan render was like just planted by Motorola itself.
Could be. Because that's the thing, I'm like, whoever thought of it in Motorola, whoever fought for it, that guy should get a huge promotion because, oh my god, this has gotten so many people talking about that brand.
Something which I found really impressive was the hinge.
Yeah, the hinge design.
Yeah, that it's completely flat. There is no crease or anything. It's really impressive.
So they've done a really good job with that, and I know it's going to be super expensive.
It's $1,500.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy expensive in India with the import tax and everything.
Not surprised.
But I know people are going to flaunt the heck out of that phone.
Yes.
It might be the first Android phone in ages that you might see some celebrities actually using by themselves without having to pay them.
The day it launches, you will find that particular Galaxy Fold on OLX. So that's when you will come to know your friend has sold it off.
Yeah.
Or put it for sale.
For sure.
But the thing which bothers me is the specs. Because what my theory is, they locked in the specs 4 years ago, and they were just building upon the internals, like the hinge mechanism and everything. So that took a toll on them.
So I feel like this is like I feel like every company has something that I like to call their PR device, their big marketing device. Like Xiaomi has the Mi CC phone with the 108 megapixel thing that they are using as their PR device. Everyone's talking about this phone. It's crazy. Wow. Huawei had the P30 Pro, which was like, wow, it can zoom in. Oh my god, amazing.
Shoot the moon. Wow.
And I think this is Motorola's PR device. This is the device that they wanted to get people talking about the brand. And suddenly a lot of people know about Motorola again because of this phone. I saw very, very normal, everyday people posting about this in their Instagram stories, which is so rare.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, who talks about phones apart from us?
True.
Right? So,
Yeah, I did see like normal people.
yeah, like
Posting
normal,
about
everyday
it. Wow.
people posting about this phone. That shows that this has already worked out amazing for them. For all we know, there might be very limited numbers of devices. And I don't think they expect to sell a lot of them. But I think for what its intention was, it's already getting them what they wanted. That is
True.
pure PR attention. And from that point of view, I don't think the specs matter to them because whoever buys this phone, let's face it,
Yeah.
they're not really going to care about the specs. They're not even going to care about the camera.
Yeah.
They're just going to be flipping it open every time they get in public with somebody. Be like, hey, have you seen my phone?
Oh, I'm receiving a call. Flip.
Yeah, flip it open and I'm tired of talking to you. Snap. Snap a shot. I think the target audience for this phone is not us tech geeks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that when the reviews come out, all of us will be bitching about how bad the specs are. But
But then
the reality of the situation is that the people who buy it are not going to care.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it is. Okay, a quick deviation from this.
Alright.
What do you think about the Sonic redesign?
Oh my god. Oh, you're touching home here.
Okay, hear me out. This is my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
They put out the bad Sonic just to make sure that the redesign looks better, like miles better. Had they launched the better one in the first place, people would have still been complaining about it.
People would have complained about it, but not to the degree that people did, because the original Sonic that they put out on CGI was an insult to every Sonic fan in the planet. Like I'm the biggest Sonic fan. I've played Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic and 3 and Knuckles
same.
on my Sega Mega Drive. This is a thing where you couldn't save games. That means you had to dedicate 5 hours of your life to playing that game. And when you have Indian parents, they don't want you sitting in front of your TV.
More than 1 or 2 hours.
So
you're dead.
So I was there. I dealt with power cuts. I dealt with everything to finish those levels. So I'm like the biggest Sonic fan. I've always been a big Sonic fan. For OG Sonic. So when this movie came out, obviously I had my hopes up. Now I've had my hopes crushed with Transformers, obviously. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie for sure. Jeez, what the heck was that? Right?
That was weird.
So obviously with this, I didn't have that high expectation. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, what have they done to Sonic? And then I saw this version now, which they apparently spent $35 million on fixing it.
Wait, $35 million?
Yeah, on fixing it. And this is more like it.
Yeah.
What's funny though is that now that I do sneaker reviews in addition to tech, I noticed that they also changed the sneakers.
Yeah, they did.
So they went from very realistic looking Puma sneakers to another pair of Puma sneakers now, which don't look that cool at all. But they're Puma, so maybe Puma had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah, they did release it, in
Puma had
collaboration
another,
with
they
Sonic.
had another Sonic edition, which was really ugly by the way. It had like Sonic's fur on it for some reason. I don't know, it was very strange. I mean, I'm a big Sonic fan, but I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna buy what looks like you killed Sonic and made him into a shoe. So that was insane. But it's obviously some Puma. And it's really funny, out of all the companies to partner with, I don't know why they partnered with Puma for the movie, but there we go. So they redesigned a whole bunch of things, but now it just looks like a Sonic that we want. It's the same as the Lion King, right? Like this trailer dropped during the Lion King fancy. Everybody hated the new Lion King because they were like, he
The
looks
lack
too.
of emotions and everything.
Yeah, and did you watch the Lion King? It was horrible.
I just watched the trailer. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, no.
Yeah, it was. I watched the movie, I didn't watch it in the theater. I waited for it to come out on iTunes, and then I watched it, and I was like, huh, this was an incredible waste of time because now I hate The Lion King. It was bad. There was no emotion at all. I don't know who thought of realism. And if you're going to go for realism, why does everyone have an American accent in the Sahara? So it's strange. So I think that same camp of people were like, let's make Sonic look realistic, like a real hedgehog. Nobody wants to see a real blue hedgehog running around. So I'm glad that they fixed it. I can't wait till the movie comes out. It looks like, you know what's funny is that the movie actually looks pretty decent now.
I know, right? It looks better with the second,
It looks so
second
much
trailer.
better.
Yeah.
So they also have that actor that's always in animated movies for some reason. What's his name? The guy who plays Cyclops from the OG X-Men movie.
I don't know the name, but
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, nobody knows his name, but he's in a bunch of movies with CGI characters for some reason. So he's there. So it'll be a pretty decent watch. I'm just hoping that they have like some action figures when the movie comes out.
I'm pretty sure they're going to like reference the old Sonic in some way.
They
Like,
will, yeah.
that, what's the name of the doctor? Dr.
Dr. Robotnik? Yeah, Jim
Robotnik.
Carrey.
Yeah. So the theory was that he's going to,
Evolve into it.
no, he's going to, make clones of Sonic. So one of those clones will be the old original Sonic design.
Actually,
That's in the lore, right? Because
in
he creates
the OG Sonic universe,
Robot Sonic.
Robotnik, yeah, he clones Sonic into Robot Sonic, and then Robot Sonic ends up being, I think in the comics he ended up being a good guy at the end.
In the end.
Yeah, in the end. But there's also Shadow, who is like everyone's favorite, anti-Sonic character, who also ends up being good in the end. Even Knuckles was originally supposed to be this bad guy, but turned out being good in the end. So
Do you think Super Sonic would be making a appearance there?
he better, dude, because
I don't think so. I don't think they will.
How
just,
can they make a movie and not make sense for Sonic?
They're not having Tails or Knuckles in this one. At least that's what it seems like. I think they will hold it off for the sequel.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
from that point of view, I'm really hoping this movie does well because I am a huge Sonic fan, and I wouldn't mind. I would buy all the stupid merch. Like they'll put the face of Sonic on a T-shirt and charge you like $100 for it, and I'll be like, yeah, totally worth it, Sonic. But I don't know. I hope this movie does well.
So let's wrap this up. Where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, I'm Clinton Jeff everywhere. I'm Clinton Jeff on Twitter, and Clinton Jeff on Instagram, and on Facebook I am also Clinton Jeff. What do I have on Facebook? No one uses Facebook anymore.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, and especially YouTube, where I'm also Clinton Jeff.
Awesome, that's great.
Very easy to find me.
It was great having a chat with you. It was
Alright,
fun.
man. Thanks for having me on.
And now we gotta leave.
Yeah, we are actually late for a meeting.
He actually
with a friend
DM'd me
of
twice.
ours. Yeah, so that friend is probably going to hate us now, but
Yeah.
hopefully he'll appreciate it.
Yeah. All
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yes. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alright folks, that's all for this episode. I hope you liked it, and if you did, do share, like, subscribe, do your thing. And hey, if you have any questions regarding anything we talked about, if you have any constructive criticism, go ahead, hit me up on Twitter, which is @ShimonIPS. That is SHIMONIPS. The next one will be coming out really, really soon, so look out for that. And hey, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.